We're back on the Sports Zone. I am Mike Aglialoro. Last time we took a look at the top 5 wide receivers in football for the purposes of the fantasy football season. Today we're going to continue the fantasy football preview with receivers 6 through 10. Of course, 1 through 5 was Megatron, Calvin Johnson, Demaryius Thomas, Dez Bryant, A.J. Green, and Alshon Jeffrey. Number 6, we're going to start with Randall Cobb of the Green Bay Packers. He had a season-ending injury early on in the season, and it destroyed what was going to be a breakout season. This is a guy who not only was turning into the number 1 receiver for Aaron Rodgers, but he's also a threat in the return game, and he was being utilized, and he was always a threat to score long touchdowns. And if you're in leagues where receiving yards count, you want him on your team. Now, it may be a little high for some people simply because he is coming back off of the injury. I think this is the time you got to grab him at this spot if you can, because he's poised for a breakout. And if you're in a dynasty league and you couldn't trade for him last year, you're done. You ain't getting him for this year. Number 6, we're going back to the Chicago Bears with Brandon Marshall. Now, he's ranked a little higher on some other people's lists, but to me, I look at the fact that not only does he have Alshon Jeffrey next to him, but he did go from 1,500 receiving yards to a little under 1,300 in 1 year. Now, part of that was because of Jeffrey's breakout. The other part is because he is getting up there. It's not that he's done, but he can't compete with some of the younger guys we put on this list. He's going to be a solid wide receiver, but these younger guys are going to wind up making him go down the list through no fault of his own, and it starts this year. Number 8, another guy returning off of injury. We're going to go to the Atlanta Falcons, Julio Jones. Of course, he was another guy poised for a big breakout season. He got off to a slump early on, and then he suffered the injury, and unfortunately he was done for the season. So he's another guy, and Atlanta's looking to improve off of a terrible season last year. And they improved the offensive line. They added a couple more weapons in the running game. And between Julio Jones, Roddy White, both being healthy, Matt Ryan's going to have a big year, and I look for both those guys to have over 1,000 yards receiving. And Julio Jones, like I said, going to be back in the top 10, have him at number 8. Number 9, we'll go back to Green Bay, Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson had a breakout season in part because Randall Cobb was hurt last year with over 1,300 receiving yards. The numbers are obviously going to go down this season, but he's still your top 10 option. If you could take him early on, do it, because there's no reason he can't repeat that 1,300 yards. Number 10, the only rookie to have over 1,000 yards receiving last year, Keenan Allen of the San Diego Chargers. Now, he's basically the only legitimate wide receiver that Phillip Rivers has to throw to outside of the tight ends Antonio Gates, who's getting up there, and Ladarius Green, who established himself last season. So the floor is wide open for a guy with Allen's speed to be able to have another breakout season like he had last year. He's only going to eclipse those numbers. If you're in a dynasty league, you need to grab him, because I'm looking for at least 1,200 yards out of him this season. So once again, the number 6 through 10 wide receivers on my fantasy rankings is number 6, Randall Cobb of the Green Bay Packers. Number 7, Brandon Marshall of the Chicago Bears. Number 8, Julio Jones, Atlanta Falcons. Number 9, Jordy Nelson of the Green Bay Packers. And number 10, Keenan Allen of the San Diego Chargers. Check out everything else we got on the Sports Zone. Check out Tom Lembo's preview for Saturday night, Sergio Martinez, Miguel Cotto showdown. And we got other fine quality articles from Jake Dixon, Jay Rofsky, Aaron Hadasmi, George Murphy, and Dave Tice. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at WeAreSportsZone. Send us any questions and comments you may have. Thanks, everyone, for watching. For This is Sports Zone, I am Mike Aglialoro. We will see you next time, folks.